The following is a presentation of Muddy River News.
Well, we had a call, a 911 call of a suicidal subject that was down in the South Bottom area. And our deputies responded to that area, and they located the person believed to be suicidal, and he brandished a weapon and a short, I say short, foot chase ensued. It was quite lengthy, though. I think a couple hundred yards is where they got. Ultimately, the officers were confronted, and the subject raised the gun, and the officers had to do what they had to do. And so 3 officers were involved, and those 3 officers at Blessing Hospital getting checked out, and the person is deceased at the scene.
Sheriff, what point will you think you guys will be able to get identifications of the victims and such?
Well, we'll notify the next of kin hopefully pretty soon. I think Pat and Blue are going to go do that themselves. And once that's done, we'll be able to, probably tomorrow morning, we'll be able to release the name of the deceased individual.
And what time did the call come in on all this again?
You know, I'm trying to tell you, I think it was around 2:30 or 3, because I was in my office and Pat hollered at me, so I went down with him. And after it was all over with, I took the deputies to the hospital. So I can't really give you a time frame, but it's somewhere around 3 p.m.
Can you tell us exactly how many deputies were involved in the shooting?
3.
3.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Do your deputies have body cams equipped?
No, not yet.
Okay.
We have to have them by the end of the year, and we will have. There wasn't any footage of it. And I was still on the road, although I did see what occurred. So it was a little ways away, but not too far. I feel sorry for the victim, or not the victim, the suspect, and I feel sorry for the family. I really do. It hurts me, but it also hurts me to see what the deputies have to go through with this, because it does things to you.
Well, and again, if he had suicidal thoughts, and again, I know I'm jumping the gun here. I mean, people always hear about, suicide by cop and things like that. So, but I know that your department and DCI out of ISP, they're going to do a thorough investigation to kind of find out, what this, what the deceased's motive was.
Correct, and we'll have that at a later time. I promise you.
And just for clarification, your deputies were taken to the hospital for routine. No deputies were injured.
No deputies were injured. It's a matter of policy. We take them to the hospital because people get shook up over incidents like this. It's not pleasant.
When will we know which deputies were involved?
Oh.
Or can you tell us that?
It will be, I can't really tell you now, but upon conclusion of the state investigation, we'll be able to provide that to you.
Along with the deputies who are involved in this, I mean, this is something that can shake an entire department. Are you going to make it available, anybody who just needs to talk to somebody, you're going to make that available for everybody?
Correct. Especially the ones that were there.
Sure.
There were, of course, other officers there.
How many officers did you have on the scene?
I think we had probably 6, and the state police had 4. So, you're going to have 10 guys that if they need counseling or whatever, I'm all for it.
They were on the scene for well over an hour, right?
Well, afterwards, you mean, or
I'm just the whole process. The whole process from when you got the call and responded.
From the time we got the call and responded to the time of the shooting, I can't tell you exactly, but it was within an hour or less.
Okay.
Okay. Then, of course, a lot of the officers had to remain on the scene to protect the scene until the investigators get there and do the crime scene stuff. And there's several different crime scenes. As you saw, the vehicle was up the road somewhat, and then, of course, he made it several hundred yards down into a field, and that's where the incident happened.
Do we know what kind of weapon he had?
Exactly? No, I don't. I don't. I believe it was a handgun. It wasn't a rifle, but I believe it was a handgun.
I know
They recovered it at the scene.
there were, when I was there, a couple of residents that were down that way who weren't able to get to the residence.
Correct.
Because of the investigation. So we can let them know. Do you know when they might be able to start clearing people to the residences?
I would say as soon as the investigators get there, which they should be there any time now, then they can secure just those sections where the crime scene is, and then of course the residents should be able to get to their homes without a problem. I mean, we hate tying it up that way, but until the crime scene investigators get there, we almost have to shut it all down.
You think you're going to give us another update tonight, or probably in the morning before we get any more information?
It'll probably be tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Because they'll work on the scene. They'll be at the scene a long time.
Sure.
They will. And then our guys, as soon as they get done at the hospital, they'll be ordered to go home and try to get some rest.
Muddy River News. Our home, our news.